There was one lady who was selling a Pomeranian Chihuahua, Pomeranian Chihuahua, Pomeranian Chihuahua mix, and I was going to have that dog. It sounded like a good fit for me, and she was talking to me. I had the money ready and everything, and I said, okay, just give me your details and I'll come and have a look at the dog. But then she just never got back to me. There was another person who was selling a bulldog, and I thought, okay, I like bulldogs, and it'd be nice to have a little another bulldog like Toto. And it did look a tiny bit like Toto in some ways. But she said that she would save it for me until she got the money, until I had the money ready. But then she just sold it to somebody else. So like, what a bitch! And I was not happy about that. Another lady was selling a dog. It was in my right price range. And my friend took the train. He went all the way up there to get the dog. I gave the lady his details and she claimed that she rang him and she didn't answer. But he said to me, no, that wasn't true. She never rang at all. He got his number, but when he rang it, she never answered the phone at all. And then she sold the dog to somebody else. So he basically went all that way up for nothing. And I said, look, my friend is going to buy the dog. He's coming to collect it. It's just we don't live around here. We live in Leicester. So we don't know the area. Where where is it near that you live? Because she'd give us the address. I said, okay, where is it near? So she told us it was near this pub, which my friend was able to find, but he couldn't find her address and he asked around and nobody knew where she lived. And then she just sold the dog to somebody else. I have a picture of the dog I was recently going to get, which is a Husky cross Old English Bulldog. And I will insert a picture for you so you can see what it looks like and everything. But it was a female dog. She was a Husky mix, and her name was Rogue. She lived in Ashmonsel, which is where my grandma used to live. My grandma lived on Saffron Lane in Ashmonsel, and like the lady lived quite near there. I got a taxi all the way up there and everything. It cost me £8.50. I had a look at the dog. I got on with the dog. The dog got on with me. It was showing me affection. It was licking me and everything. I was giving the dog force and it really liked me. I really liked the dog. I said, look, I have been paid earlier than I thought I was going to be, so I will give you the money. And I'm definitely having the dog. So I gave her the 160 in money that she wanted. And she said, oh, well, um, where do you live? And I told her and I said, look, I'm gonna get a taxi back up there. She said, oh no, there's no need to do that. I work in that area. My husband works in that area, so I'll give you a lift up there. So I said, oh, okay, thank you. That's very nice of you. So she took me all the way back to mine in her car. And she said, the dog pulls, so um, until you get a non-pulling lead that she's used to, I'll walk her to the door for you. I said, okay, fair enough. And she walked her to the door. She said, the dog was a bit nervous because it was a new area and everything. So she said, let me just take the dog inside for you, which she did. Um, the cats were a bit nervous, but they would have got used to the dog. But the dog didn't do anything to the cats, and it lived with cats, so it was used to them. And the dog was just sniffing around, and it would have settled. It was just getting used to its new surroundings. Then the woman burst into tears and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've changed my mind. I thought I could do this, but I can't. I've grown too attached to the dog. I can't give her up." But she did give me my money back, and she gave me my taxi money back, which was good. But I had bonded with the dog. I'd got attached to her. So if she was going to change her mind, she could have done that before I got a taxi and went all the way up there. I could understand she had grown attached to the dog, but what annoys me is that I went all the way up there and only at the very last minute did she change her mind. I'm kind of grieving for this dog because I'd grown attached to her and I really wanted her. I'm just having a hard time giving her up, and I had so many signs. I feel like I was having so many signs that this dog was meant for me. I was like so excited. I was like, yay, I'm finally going to get a dog. Oh, this dog's so sweet. This is the dog for me. I just know it. And then suddenly, like, no, you can't have the dog. So I feel like I'm grieving for this dog, and um, it's hard for me to accept that she's not my dog and she's not going to be in my life. So, like, I've saved pictures of the dog, what were posted on Gumtree, and I've even took photos of the dog on my phone, and I'm saving them because it's just so hard for me to accept that the dog's not going to be mine. I feel like I was getting so many signs that she was meant for me, and I'm even still getting signs. So I'm like, well, why was I getting these signs if she's not meant for me and she's not going to be in my life? But I was getting all these signs from the damn universe. Like, first of all, she's a husky crossed with an old English bulldog, and Toto was an old English bulldog. She was more of a husky, and she had the husky looks, um, but she had some of the same colourings that Toto had. And I was like, okay, that's the sign. So that was one sign. The second sign was that she was coming from the Erzmansel, which was where my grandma used to live before she died, and where my best friend's partner lived. So that was another sign. Then when I got there, I found out that her name was Rogue. And Rogue is a character from the X-Men. I love the X-Men. And Rogue is one of my favourite characters. So that's another sign. And on the description, it says that she does cry a bit, but so she can't be left alone. She can't be with somebody who's going to be working all the time. I'm in all most of the time anyway, so I'd be able to give her that affection. She is a bit boisterous, so she can knock children over. I don't currently have any children, and she lives with cats, so she gets on fine with cats. I have cats, and I need a dog that's going to get on with cats, and she did. So that was another sign. And then the other day, even after I wasn't allowed the dog, well, I wasn't able to have the dog, I was watching Rugrats on Daily Motion, and this advert, this commercial for an X-Men game came up, where the main character was none other than Rogue. So why am I still getting these signs if the dog's not meant for me? Some things you can do for the law of attraction is um, acting like you already have the thing that you want. Like for me, I got some dog toys ready for when I have a dog. And the lady told me that Rogue pulled, so she would need one of those slip-on combined collars and leads. So even when I knew I wasn't going to get her anymore, I bought one of those leads so I would have it ready. I got dog food in when I was going to get after a previous dog. But because I didn't get it, I gave that dog food away to somebody who would need it. And then I got in some dog biscuits, and I thought, okay, well, dog biscuits don't go off that quickly, so I can keep them for when I do get a dog. But one of my cats ate them in the night. But you can act like you've already got the thing that you want. You can also write down the things that you're grateful for, because by doing that, you're putting the energy out there. You're putting positive energy out there. So you can just like write down all the things that you already have that you're grateful for. You can also make a vision board of the things that you want to manifest.